I don't know what they have, but whatever they have, we'd certainly release, no problem. You know, we stopped every boat we knock out. We save 25,000 American lives.
That's right. That's right.
And if you look at our numbers, the drugs coming in through sea are down 91%. I'm surprised there's 9%. You want to? I don't know who's doing the 9%, but it's down 91, and we're going to start very soon on land, and I'm sure you're thrilled to hear that.
A single exchange has set off alarms across Washington and the hemisphere. In a Politico interview, U.S. President Donald Trump repeatedly declined to rule out sending American troops into Venezuela, refusing to say yes, refusing to say no. "I don't want to rule in or out. I don't talk about it," he told Politico, leaving the military question deliberately open. Alongside that silence came a warning. Nicolás Maduro's days are numbered, a line that instantly pushed the crisis back into the global spotlight.
Whatever he decides is okay with me. So every boat we knock out of the water, every boat, we save 25,000 American lives. That was a boat loaded up with drugs. I saw the video. They were trying to turn the boat back to where it could float. And we didn't want to see that because that boat was loaded up with drugs just like everything else. But every boat we shoot down, and I don't know if you know, we're 92 or 94% down in drugs coming in by the sea. And we're trying to find who are the 6%, because I don't know, people aren't liking to drive boats right now loaded up with drugs. But every single, think of that, every single boat we shoot out, on average, we save 25,000 American lives. Do you feel okay about that, Cord?
Keep us safe.
Okay, I know my man. What about you, Bill? Are you okay with that?
Totally.
Trump has raised the idea of land strikes for months, alongside an expanding campaign against suspected drug trafficking vessels in the Caribbean. More than 20 strikes have already been carried out at sea under the Pentagon's direction. But now the momentum appears to be shifting from offshore operations to territorial options. And when asked whether he would consider similar action against Mexican or Colombian interests, Trump didn't hesitate. "Sure, I would," he said, a response that rippled instantly across Latin America. These operations are already under scrutiny in Congress, especially after the revelation that one strike included a second hit that killed 2 unarmed survivors clinging to debris. Lawmakers who viewed the classified footage demanded answers about legal authority and rules of engagement. Now, the Gang of 8, the congressional group briefed on the most sensitive national security actions, is being called in. According to sources familiar with the plan, senior officials including the Defense Secretary, Secretary of State, and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs are preparing to brief them. For weeks, a growing fleet of U.S. warships has taken position across the Caribbean, from a carrier strike group to a nuclear submarine, all aligned under counter-narcotics operations. On paper, the mission is maritime interdiction. In practice, it reflects readiness for fast escalation. Admiral Alvin Holsey, head of U.S. Southern Command, is also expected to brief separate House and Senate groups before stepping down, a sudden early retirement that arrives as operational tempo intensifies. Inside Venezuela, the government has urged citizens to be prepared for the possibility of an armed struggle, while accusing foreign powers of conducting psychological warfare. Venezuelan officials argue the U.S. buildup constitutes deliberate provocation during the country's worsening political and economic crisis. Caracas calls the recent maneuvers escalatory, actions aimed at tightening pressure on Maduro at a vulnerable moment.
We all truly need to remember that approximately 4 months ago, more or less, I distinctly recall it was around August 8 when the direct and serious threats against our beloved country truly began to escalate. Threats every single day. And our esteemed brother, President Nicolás Maduro, as he always does, promptly took command and firmly declared, We need calm and unwavering composure, nerves of absolute steel, and maximum unified mobilization. And popular organization? He immediately called on us to enlist in the militia, and the people of Venezuela hurried to sign up, just as Jose Gregorio Hernandez did. When they tried to blockade Venezuela, to invade Venezuela, European powers, with the support of North American imperialism. To say strange things with our oil, to take strange things with our oil. More than a century has passed, more than a century, a long century, and they have not given up on their obsession. They have not given up at all. You are witnesses then to how many threats, a psychological terrorism against our people, against women, against children, against the armed forces. Against, well, families with threats and some media outlets aiming directly at the head of a people, and some pseudo-journalists or paid hacks who get paid for every message they send. And the more deceitful or sensationalist it is, the more they get paid. And the president, in the midst of that battle, said, let's go to the plenary session of the party's 5th Congress. And so the president called us. In the midst of the ongoing attacks, he called the plenary session of the party's 5th Congress and the 4th Congress of the JPSU. And there he gave us clear and precise instructions and said, look, the organizational structure the party has had up to now with its dedicated street leaders and community leaders has been a tremendously powerful and effective tool for resisting the battles we've consistently faced. But it was necessary to make the organizational leap from individual leadership to collective command, to collective leadership. That's why the president spoke about the comprehensive Bolivarian grassroots committees. We are in a peaceful revolution. Completely and utterly peaceful, but it is certainly not an unarmed revolution by any means. We have a scenario of unarmed struggle. That's the scenario we face every day. Or do you think that when imperialism says it's going to station an aircraft carrier, it's not a direct threat to our people, the largest aircraft carriers in the world right in front of Venezuela, such a small country? That if I don't know how many planes fly by and every day there's a new threat, why do they do it? Because they think they're going to break us with fear, but they don't know us. They don't know what we're made of. This is a people that will not surrender. And anyone who messes with Venezuela should be very clear that it won't be a matter of 48 hours. It won't be a matter of 3 days. It won't be a matter of a month. Ask the Spanish how long it lasted and what happened to them at the end of that battle. What happened to them after that battle? So the president orders us to prepare to move from unarmed struggle to armed struggle.